Suzi and Kat, we're back at South by Southwest. It's day 4.
It is day 4, isn't it? It is day 4. Unlike previous years, though, day 4 today doesn't feel as overwhelming as previous years. It's been a really nice pace this year.
Yeah, I feel like I can still think. I'm not overwhelmed. I'm still learning. I haven't decided I want to go crawl into a hole and have a break.
Or do what I saw somebody do yesterday at the day stage, which is where all the authors do their book readings. This guy was asleep up against the wall with his head on his backpack. He looked like he'd been there for quite a few book readings.
Maybe he was recharging his iPhone. I don't know.
Well, maybe it was his first trip to South by. Maybe he was still in that newbie overwhelm.
So today we've had a chance to visit the exhibitor hall. Usually opens about second or third day in. And what we want to do is introduce you to a company called Tout. Anything you want to say about Tout before we go into the clip?
Oh, look, I think it's really interesting, and I'm excited that we got to talk to them because we did mention them. In fact, you raised them a few episodes ago as a potential resource, and now that I've got to see it live and we got to talk to the guys, yeah, quite an exciting little social media app.
Great. Let's take a look. I'm here at South by Southwest at the expo, and I'm here with Gardner of Tout. Hi.
How you doing?
Very well. How's the expo going so far?
Awesome. We are getting great reactions, and we had a contest here with Shaq, and there's pretty much no other way that you can draw a crowd other than a 7-foot-tall NBA All-Star. So that worked out.
That is, of course, Shaquille O'Neal. Tell us about the campaign. First, hang on. Yeah. Tell us what Tout is. We've mentioned it on the show before as a recommended tool, but let's hear it from you.
Yeah. Tout is a real-time information platform. Now, what does that mean? We say a lot of these things, these buzzwords these days. The essential, easy way to understand it is video Twitter. Now, what I mean by that is Twitter limits you to 140 characters of text. Tout limits you to 15 seconds of video. And you post that to Twitter, to Facebook, to Tout, all simultaneously. And it's a way to show people, not tell people what's happening. If you tweet like, hey, this party is great, come check it out. It's like, I don't really believe you. I don't know if that's true. But if you show someone visually what it's like, then you're actually doing something that we do on a daily basis. You're communicating visually. I mean, what we're doing right now, what is happening here is a conversation. You hear the intonation of my voice, you hear the features on my face changing, whatever it might be, that's communication. So we're kind of putting the humanity back into technology with this application that is being disseminated to multiple places at one time.
Now, I want to hear about the Shaquille O'Neal promotion, but tell me its application, Tout's application to small business.
Yeah, so it's really great for small businesses because you can actually engage and connect with your viewers and audience in a visual capacity, similar to what I was discussing previously. You can reply to people and have conversations, but because it's limited to 15 seconds, it actually is like a conversation. When somebody sends me a YouTube link and it's 3 minutes long, I'm like, oh boy, all right, I got to set aside time to watch this. And if somebody sends it to me, I have to make sure that I know which point of information I should be reacting to and giving them feedback on or whatever it might be. This forces people to be concise. And it forces people to, if they are going to reply, have an idea of what they're going to say before they ramble on like I'm doing right now.
Now you have a developer, I don't know if it's called an application.
Yeah.
Tell us how that would work. So I'm a small business and I want to aggregate some content of people in my community. How does it work?
So we have a platform for our API, developer.tout.com. You can see it up there. You can cut away to that now. All right, we're back. And you can find the API there. You can also find our simple 5-step widget builder there. And you can also find our SDK there. An SDK is basically an API for mobile applications. So you can add this into your existing applications, whether it's a website or whether it's a mobile application. Now, the difference between the API and the general widget builder, I can show you, is simplicity. If you want to customize everything, you use the API and you just gather data. If you want to use the widget builder, it's super simple. It's like I said, 5 steps. You determine what size the widget you want, just like a Twitter widget, where it's real-time text coming in. Then you determine if you want it to be a hashtag-based widget and whether or not you want certain users contributing to it. So the usernames or the hashtags are really important. And then once you have your content, you customize it and brand it in whatever way you want. And you can also serve ads into it as well. So if you have an ad server, depending on how big your business is, you're able to serve 5 to 15 second ads within it. So every third tout, every fourth tout, and remember these are 15 seconds at a time, so you get to choose the duration. If you had 4 touts, then you'd have a minute of content going on before somebody would watch that 15-second ad spot. So it really depends on what your content is. If you are it depends on your business. So if you're giving tips, 15 seconds is a great amount of time. You can also share these individually. And remember, these are going to Twitter and Facebook simultaneously. So it goes to Twitter, Facebook, your widget where you could be monetizing, and you can also SMS and email these as well.
Well, give us the Shaquille O'Neal campaign as an example of how you used it.
Yeah, so Shaq started with us 2 years ago, actually, when he announced his retirement in a tout. And what he wanted to do is he wanted to tell his fans first, face to face. Instead of putting out a press release, having a press conference, telling everybody and then having them go write their stories, he loves his fans and he is smart. And he knew that if he connected with his fans in a very revolutionary way, that they would appreciate it, and then the press would kind of latch onto it. That's exactly what happened. It was amazing. He created a tout, he tweeted that tout out. So again, if you're following somebody on Twitter, you're still gonna get their touts because it plays in line on Twitter. So everybody watched it, loved it, started replying to him visually with support, and he got to see his fans, and he got to talk to his fans because his fans would reply to him, he would reply back to them, and then his fans would have their own conversations as well. And they were sharing that content to Twitter, so like huge viral effect. And then everybody picks up that video and plays that video on their different broadcasts. So it's a brilliant maneuver by him. We are so excited to have him be aboard. And then what he's doing here at South by is he's asking startups to pitch him in 15 seconds. So if you can pitch him in 15 seconds, he may choose you to have a sit down with and maybe invest in your company. Today he actually chose 2 of those companies. They couldn't be more different, which is awesome and just like him. He chose Speakerify and a company called Beam, and I won't get into that now, but they're very cool companies and we're checking out.
Can you tell us how many people pitched?
Hundreds. I mean, you can actually, what's behind us right now is one of these real-time video streams, and anybody that tags a tout SXSW, it goes into this stream, so you have a crowdsourced perspective of what's going on at South by instead of just tweets coming in. And so this is actually the company that pitched him, this is actually their pitch that's coming up right now. And they're talking to him in 15 seconds, explained the idea, and he sat down and talked with his people, and they decided that they were going to go with that very young company as opposed to the more senior company that he chose. So he chose 2, actually.
Great, thank you. We have one question we ask all our guests. Other than tout, what is your favorite platform or social tool?
Favorite platform or social tool? I like Filmic a lot. It's a video app where you can shoot in HD on your tablet or your phone. The quality of it is really good, and you can actually make touts out of that because you can choose a moment from that video that's on your camera roll, and you can make a tout out of it.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really enjoyed Gardner's enthusiasm.
I know, he so loves his product, doesn't he? And he's so into, I think, the different applications for what tout can do. Off tape, what we got to talk to him about was how different some of their different partners are using it, how Wall Street Journal are using it, how BBC are using it. Had some great ideas for how the Australian Businesswomen's Network can use it as well. So just really funky opportunities.
Yeah, I can see a lot of application. You know, one of the things he said was, you know, you could be here at the expo doing 15-minute touts of different exhibitors and throwing them up on your website. Oh, I'm going to try it out because not on this particular trip, but I see lots of applications for small business.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to start using it just to tweet in a different way. So instead of, you know, typing out my random thought as I'm walking between sessions, for example, I might just actually take a couple of quick touts and say, this is what I just learned in that session, watch out for the blog later on. So, and as he pointed out, it's a much, I shouldn't say a much nicer way, but it's a different way of engaging with your audience, but still in that really short, you know, the video equivalent of 140 characters.
And the corporate version, if you like, you know, you can brand it with your own logo, colours, you put the widget on your website, you can also, there's analytics. So really, really good business tool.
And in fact, that was the key distinctions between, say, Tout and Vine. So Vine is Twitter's inbuilt video app, whereas Tout, obviously it's independent, has a lot more analytics in terms of who's watched, how many people have engaged, how many people have shared, and that was all in the back end. So one of the key distinctions.
Great, check it out. We'll put the details in our show notes. Thanks for joining us.